It is time for a brand new Banlist in Duel Links going live on the 28th, so the brand new World Day Rush Duels coming to Duel Links on the 28th. Meaning this for me is going to be not super duper exciting unless there's going to be some major sweeping changes, right? Hopefully Odd Eyes getting a nerf, probably Destiny Heroes as well. There's also no skill changes, meaning that if there are things to Reggie Pendulum, you've got to wait about a week until we get those. Like last year was announced on 27th to go into effect on like mid-October, and so the same will kind of apply here. So I guess also Rockets maybe, given they were a really popular KC Cup. So let's dive in, let's see. What do we have first of all? We've got Shooting Riser Dragon to 1. Okay, so this is of course being used in Odd Eyes, right? This clashes with the Odd Eyes Raging Dragon, which is kind of mandatory for the skill. This now stops you from being trishlered in your turn, right, by your opponent, so that's really good. I think they can still do trish on their turn, right? They've still got the, you play the Noble Dragon Magician, you summon it out, you've got a 4 and a 4 and a 3, you make your big trishler. On your turn, is fine. In your opponent's turn, that's a little bit too toxic given the deck can do so much already, but this does, I think, also like clash with Croco Dragon. I think that's kind of a bad sign for like Synchron players, but for Pendulum players, this is good. Thank you. No bans, okay, but also only limit 1, which is a pretty choice. Then we've got Penincessor going to 2. Now, this is a straight buff, of course, for Mad Olches. They've not seen new support, it's available via the card trader. This is cool. It means they now get access to Monster Reborn, or Treacherous thing they'll probably play, or Terraforming, maybe to search out the Salon, right? They could do that as well. So that's cool. A straight buff, very nice. Then we've got Lady Debug going to 2. Huh. So this I think was at 3 previously. Like, I guess you've now got backer access in Code Talker, which is cool, but at the same time, I think this is a nerf for Code Talker, because I'm pretty sure they were playing this at 3, and so this is more of a buff, I guess, to Salamangreat, given they had this and had the Circle shared, right? They can now play 2 of these and 3 Circle, which is a choice, obviously they've not got the whole negate thing, right? So yeah, that's an interesting change. I'm not too sure how I feel about it, but it's a change nonetheless. Then we've got, okay, just that's a very, very small limit 2s. Then, Dragon Pit Magician going to 3. So this now clashes with the Pendulum Call, meaning you're playing 2 Pend Call, 1 of this. It now clashes with the Orcus stuff, right, with Beatrice. So maybe this gets rid of Orcus entirely from Odd Eyes? Hopefully? Huh. That is a very, very big hit. Especially given they're kind of selling this with a structure deck, right? Like, that's like a DM level hit, right? From when DM was in kind of its peak. This is kind of the same, right? Pentcore and this. You've now got to play more copies of Summoners Art as well to kind of guarantee seeing this as well. Sure, I like this change. I like this one. Then we've got Malicious going to 3 as well. And that's all limit 3s. Okay, very, very small, compact ban list. Yeah, removes limit 3 back row cards from heroes. They play 2 of this, and so you get 1 more back row instead of having like 3 compulsory or Thrash Dragon's Prison. That's fine. I would kind of hope we're getting a skill change too, because it's a little bit bullshit, right? You can have a 1 card normal summon to get your full combo off, right? That's a little bit bullshit. I hope there's more coming for heroes, but this is kind of the best I could have hoped for in terms of not really hitting the power of the deck, just more so the back row stuff, which is completely fine. Okay. No longer on the list. This bar is pretty big, so hopefully a pretty massive onslaught of Thunder Dragon Dark going to Unlimited. So, Thunder Dragons now I think are 3 entirely, but Levineer is still at 3, Melodies are 3, so this is not going to be a massive, massive change. Of course, Aloof is now unlimited as well. Right, they could do some stuff, right? I'm sure they could do some stuff, but I don't think there'll be anything amazing. They'll be back on ladder for sure, but yeah, we'll have to see. Then we've got Moonlight Yellow Martin. Okay, so this was of course shared with the other one, the Emerald Bird, right? So now you've got that. If you want to play 2 of that, and a back row, or 3 and 3, you can do, or 2 and 3, like, good change. If the other one's after this, then that'll be even whacker, but I think this is fine given we're expecting her to return in October, with potentially the Pendulum cards. That'd be pretty cool, but we'll see. Tatsunoko. Okay, so you're getting rid of the, you're limiting the Rise of Dragon, you're giving them back the Tatsunoko. I think that's fine. It is interesting, right, they're giving all these pieces back for the Synchro Dragon Bonds build, right? And they haven't hit the skill, I think. So, like, maybe there's a skill coming for that as well. Like, they're just going to kind of rotate things around. Who knows? Then we've got Dark Contract with the Gate. Huh. So, DDDs haven't been doing much on ladder at all recently. So, this is kind of fine. Par for the course to come back, right? Of course, if you play the Total GP events, you'll see this everywhere, right? It's really good in that event. But beyond that, this is fine. I don't like playing against DDDs. I think they can do quite a bit, especially going second right into the flanking Genghis. We'll see how this one kind of plays out. Then we've got Speedroid Fukumidoshi Piper. That's a very quick unban. Right, a very, very quick unban, right? This was at 2. Now unlimited, of course, it was hit on the last list, right, with the Speedroid skill change. So I guess they're thinking that the change was enough to the skill, and this is fine. Sure, right? As long as we don't have the yo-yo back at 3, then that would be that's fine. I think that's okay. Now I don't like the skill still, right? I think it's pretty bullshit, right? That you can go into the whole second part, summoning a Kite Drake, nuking the board, sending it away, summoning a big monster that can attack directly and game you in one go, right? I don't think that's a super healthy skill, but with Rush Duel coming, who really cares? Then we've got Speedroid double yo-yo. Okay, so Speedroid's now back at full power, aside from the skill. That's a really wild change, right? Especially given you got things like Cyber Dragon that have been on the list for forever, and Speedroid's like, yeah, we can just kind of take them off the second list, right? The newest is going, they can just remove them, right? This deck came out in May, and it got hit, and now it's back already, right? That's probably the most baffling one on this list, right? Aside from maybe the debug being a bit weird because it is a buff to some decks and nerf to some decks as well. That's probably the weirdest hit on here, right? Or the unhit, right? Is the double yo-yo. That's really weird. Then we've got. Didn't we just put this one as well to 2 or 3 or something, right? To compensate for the blue sky or something, and now they're giving it back already, less than a month ago. Okay. Not a big fan of Mech Knights. It's weird we're freeing these decks now rather than some of the older ones. That's a bit weird. Then we've got Farfa. Okay. I think Tour Guide was at limit 3, and this is limit 3 as well, I want to say. So that now... No, it was at 2, right? It was at 2. So it's a buff. It's at least a buff, right? And a good buff for Burning Beast decks. Very cool. Then we've got... Yeah, it's about time. Not a fan of the deck at all, right? It is a very slow deck, but then again, so is something like Salamangreats, right? Just kind of you expect it now. So they're kind of about the same in my books, and we've also got nothing else. A very weird list. It's not a overly big list, right? It does hit 2 of the best decks in the format, right? It doesn't hit Rockets. It doesn't, of course, hit 10 years. It won't do nor BLS. It won't do... it's fine, right? This is the main change, right? The big one is no more Trish on your opponent's turn on Odd Eyes, which is the big thing. We're kind of thinking, how do they deal with the skill, right? The skill is the issue. The skill is the big issue. But how do they deal with that? Do they lock you out of synchros? Probably not, given you did play synchros in the anime. So this being the culprit does kind of make sense. You can still Trish on your own turn, right? But on your opponent's turn, you can't do it. That's cool. Yeah, this is a bit of a weird list. Bit of a weird list, but I think I'm okay with overall. Now we're just gonna see what skills do. Any big change to skills, that'd be cool. Not just 3 old skills getting some really obscure buff that doesn't actually make any difference. That'd be great. But yeah, that is my reaction to the brand new ban list. Bit all over the place, I apologise, but that's just how things happen to be today. So yeah,